folks, Ariel over here. The woods along the creek outside of Fine If. Getting in the shade for just a second because it is really hot. So I thought I'd use talking to the camera here for a minute as an excuse to sit down and take a break. It is mid-July here and we are having, for us, very, very hot weather. It's been in the 80s or even up to 90 at times. I've lived here for many years where it never got to 80, where usually temperatures were in the 70s all summer. I'd be happy for that to come back. But anyway, so I thought I'd just cover a topic that somebody asked me about the other day. They said, how do you keep from getting overwhelmed with everything you've got to do on the homestead? And I was like, what do you mean? I don't keep from getting overwhelmed. I am overwhelmed. Which is true, especially last year, man, with setting everything up on this property. And if you're new here, welcome. Brief history is I've lived in a tiny house in the clearing in the side of a mountain for quite a few years. Last spring, not this one just passed, so like 15 months ago or whatever, I had gotten married and my husband and I bought our own little property, still tucked into the mountains but in a slightly more open area. This strip of woods is kind of just along the creek right now, though we've planted lots of trees, and we're trying to set up our own little homestead here. So I was basically trying to duplicate everything I had accomplished in a little clearing in like 8 years of living there, in 1 year of living here on 10 times more ground, and grow a forest at the same time. So that was a little overwhelming. But definitely planned too many things to do. In hindsight, though, I can't really look back and say, oh, well, I wish I had waited to do whichever thing. I don't wish I'd waited to plant a garden. I don't wish I'd waited to get the fruit trees growing, and so on and so on, but it was too much. So I can't say that Clay and I usually make New Year's resolutions, but one of our goals this year was to be sure to take time to actually enjoy life and just stop and sit and enjoy the creek burbling behind us in the shade. And if you hear the cracking, that's Burley in the trees wrestling a stick, one of his favorite things to do, and so on. So we're trying to do that this year, but yet again this year I'm very, very busy with lots and lots of things. So that's part of life. But so it's very easy for me to look around at everything that needs done. The grass needing pulled away from more trees and bushes so it doesn't choke them. The garden needs watered again. I gotta do this or that or the other to take care of one of the animals. I want to plant more stuff. I want to, do all these things, and they all just take time and energy, and I can't get to everything as fast as I would like to. But what I do to keep myself from being too overwhelmed of looking at the whole list of to-do things, all the things I can do by myself, all the things I need Clay's help with, like we still need to get the actual metal on the roof of the chicken barn. It didn't come in until after the snow was flying last year, so it's just had an ice and water shield on it all winter, which has held up just fine, but we now have the metal. It finally showed up. So we need to get that done and so on, and that's not something I can do by myself. I don't actually know how to do roofing. So we have a long list of projects, but what helps me is to look around and see what we do have done, and that's a pretty long list too. We do have our little house here. We do have beautiful planters growing us herbs and flowers all around it. We do have a garden that's looking a lot better than last year. We do have orchard trees as well as a bunch of other trees that are growing, even though we lost some. We do have chickens laying us every day, eggs every day, and living in a very nice little barn and a secure yard. They're out of the property all day, but in their barn at night. We do have ducks and chickens making us new babies. We do have cats hunting the rodents. We do have the perimeter fence, which keeps most of the predators out from eating all of those things, and so on. So we do have a lot done too. So for me, that's one of the biggest things. I have to stop and look around and say, okay, we do have a lot done. We will get more things done, and just try to work at a reasonable pace that's not totally detrimental to our health. But it's hard. Summer is busy. Summer is short. Summer's not my favorite season, despite it being when everything grows, maybe partly because it's so busy. But there's a lot of stuff that has to all get done in the limited amount of time that is summer. So part of it for me is having to just be patient with myself, and I think the same for Clay, because he has a similar drive to want everything done now. And I realize that I can't get everything done now. I do things, that I can, and other things will just have to happen later. Unless it's something, really urgent, like some animal needs taken care of this second or so on. Some of the other things are just going to take some more time to get accomplished. And I apologize that I've had a few mess ups in videos recently, either typos and stuff, or one on our tree update was run as a really low quality. This happens because I tend to be video editing at night, like the middle of the night, like midnight, because that's when I have free time. And that was just because I had to run a really low quality video for somebody else's project. I forgot to reset the editor, so I'm sorry. After filming all that, it ended up being published as a really low quality video, which really annoyed me, but I'm the one that made this mistake. But making videos does take a lot of time. Putting each one of these together takes anywhere from an hour to 3 or 4 hours, depending on what all I was filming, and that doesn't count however long it took to film whatever it was. I see your beautiful stick. So I'm doing the best I can. I'm sorry there's been some recent screw-ups, and I'd really, really love to be able to type answers to every single comment. That was taking me like 4 or more hours a day, and I'm already only sleeping 6 hours in the summer, so I just can't get to it. But one of the things I've been thinking about doing is we do have a lot better, because we are a little more out here in the open, my cell-based hotspot, which is what I use for internet, gets a little better service than I've had in the past. So I've never tried this, but I've thought about doing like a question and answer live stream with you guys. I might make some mistakes and mess that up too, because I've never done that. But if you'd be interested in doing something like that, I think that'd be a little faster for me than trying to type individual answers to every single comment. So if you're into that, let me know down below, and we'll see if we can maybe make that happen. Either sitting out here in the woods or sitting in the tiny house. I got a hummingbird right over there that you guys can't see, but it's beautiful. Anyway, so that's what's going on around here. You probably just saw the haymaking video. That does take a lot of time out of the summer and put us behind on everything else. But anyway, as far as how do I not get overwhelmed, I do get overwhelmed all the time, and I just have to remind myself that we do have things done. The world is not likely to end if I don't get this or that thing done right now. Some things are just going to have to wait for another year, and we are both trying to make a point of, like I said, just taking some time to, if it's really too hot in the afternoon, just sit here in the shade by the creek and watch the ducks dibble in the water, watch the chickens peck and scratch around. And for me, it is helpful to look around and be like, okay, we do have this thing done, and this thing has been accomplished, and that's done, and this is well started, and so on, and just kind of remind myself, which I pretty much have to do every day, sometimes multiple times a day, that we are getting there, and we're just two humans and can't get everything done at once. And of course, Clay is at work much of the week, and when he is, well, all of the week, much of the days of his life, and so there's only so much time we have to work together. And I do still clean houses for a couple people. It depends on the week. I clean a house or two, so those days I tend to be gone all day long. So we're just getting done what we can. And I wanted to do a video on kind of just for the fact of reminding ourselves. That's a red-winged blackbird in the background if you can hear it. Remind ourselves what we had done. I wanted to do like a 1-year anniversary of having moved in on this place, of what we got done. That 1-year anniversary went by back in whatever it was, April, when we had moved the house, and I was way too busy trying to get spring things done and did not get to it. So maybe we'll have a, I don't know, 15 or 16 month anniversary here in a little bit, but I would like to put something like that together and just be able to have the contrast of like where we started and what is done now. Anyway, and I just wanted to also encourage any of you guys who are trying to do whatever it is in your life. It may not be trying to set up things on a bare land property like we have been and so on, but to also try to, that if you see somebody on YouTube, me or whoever else, working, a video can only, no matter how much I try to film, can only show a little piece of each day or a little piece of our lives. Just because you see somebody else getting some things done does not mean that they do not also feel overwhelmed and like there's too much to do and so on. And and just encourage anybody, whatever you're working on, try to do what I'm trying to do, very imperfectly, and look at what you have got done and keep working, but not get too overwhelmed, and definitely don't look around and say, oh look, that person has everything done, or that person has everything done, and they don't ever get stressed out. How do they not get overwhelmed? I can't speak for everybody who does videos and stuff, but like I said, for me, I do get overwhelmed, and I do get tired, and I do get stressed, and I think that's probably true for everyone, even if you don't always see that. So I just kind of wanted to do this as a note of encouragement and an excuse to take a break out of the sun. And I hope you're all doing well. And yeah, let me know down below if you'd be interested in doing like a live question and answer thing, if I can figure out how to actually do a live stream. And maybe we can make that happen. I hope you guys all have a lovely day. And thanks for coming along on this journey with all its ups and downs.
We hope you enjoyed it.
Come back next time for more adventures.
Thanks for watching.